You didn't build your business to babysit, micromanage, or hire warm bodies to fill seats. You built it to create something meaningful. But here's the truth most entrepreneurs miss. Your people are your greatest asset. And if you're not treating them that way, you're leaving money, energy, and opportunity on the table. Welcome to Female Founder Unplugged, the show where we cut through the noise and have a real, raw conversation about what it takes to build and scale a successful business as a female entrepreneur. I'm Lindsay White, people strategy expert, leadership coach, and fellow founder. And I know firsthand the challenges of scaling sustainably and staying connected to your passion along the way. This podcast is for ambitious women just like you, seasoned founders and CEOs navigating the challenges of leadership, team building, and sustainable growth. In each episode, we'll dive into those topics that are most important to you as a female founder. You'll hear honest, no BS conversations about building, growing, and leading a team and culture so that you can grow without losing yourself in the process. Because let's be real, entrepreneurship can feel isolating, and leadership doesn't come with a roadmap. If you've ever struggled with the pressure of running a business, felt overwhelmed by growing your team, or wondered, how do I scale without sacrificing my vision and my purpose, you're in the right place. Let's get unplugged. Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Female Founder Unplugged. I'm really excited to talk with you today about your people, your team, because you didn't build your business to become a micromanager or a taskmaster. You built it because you're really passionate about the product or the service that you sell. You are an expert at what you do. You have incredible value to add. You built it to create something really impactful, something that could grow beyond you. But here's the truth that will change how you lead. Your people add all the value in your business. Not some, not a little, all. And if you don't start treating your team like the powerful asset they are, you're never going to reach the freedom, the flexibility, the growth, or the impact that you've always dreamed about. There's this glorified idea out there of the self-made entrepreneur, kind of like that idea of from the spaghetti westerns where you had that highly independent gunslinger, right? You think you're going to do it all. You're going to wear all the hats and you never has to ask for help. You're completely independent, totally on your own. You're bootstrapping it. And I got to tell you, I've fallen victim to that as well. I've completely had that mindset. And the trick is that mindset may have helped you get started. It's absolutely helped you get to the successful place that you are right now. But it's totally blocking you from scaling effectively. And that's problematic. Real businesses, the ones with lasting, impactful, profitable ones with results, are built by teams. Period. Your growth isn't about doing more. It's really about building a better team and leading better. That's what really makes businesses grow and grow sustainably. I think that's what we all want. Your people really are the product, even if you sell a service. And let me be clear, your team doesn't just do the work. They actually drive client relationships. They solve big, important, hairy problems. They create experiences. And ultimately, they deliver on your brand's promise. And if you're like me, your brand is really a part of who you are. My brand, High Voltage Leadership, really speaks to the essence of who I am. And if you've listened to the show for very long, you know that I am truly a high voltage individual and that leadership is my passion. And my brand is a part of me. So it's important that when we are thinking about our team and that they are delivering on that brand promise, that we're investing in them so that they can bring that to our clients. It's their energy, their ideas and values. They are your business. And so if there's misalignment, then there's problems. If you're still viewing your people as a cost center or an expense instead of value creators, you're actually still playing very small. They are generating a great deal of the value in your business. And this is why we focus so heavily on people strategy, that's the P, inside the LPC accelerator. Because when we think about our people, our talent, in a way that is truly strategic and we connect them all the way to the business plan, and it is a part of how we do that, we create incredible energy and we harness all the things that they bring to the table. So I'll tell you a little bit of a story. I worked with a founder who had achieved that six-figure mark. And I think that's something, that we all aspire to at some point in our business. And she'd achieved that, but she kind of got stuck there. And she was there for a couple years and she was feeling really burnt out. She was really micromanaging the crap right out of her team. And she was frustrated that no one got it, that they didn't have the commitment. They weren't taking ownership. They didn't love her business and her clients the way she did. First of all, let me be clear. They're never going to love your business like you do. They're never going to work as hard as you do. They don't own the business. It's not part of them. It's actually your job to help them see how they fit into the vision, to see how they help accomplish the mission, and to feel deeply personal about that. That's your job as a leader. Your job as a CEO is to enroll them in that vision and really then enable them to feel how they can help accomplish that. So that was part of the problem. When we micromanage the daylights out of somebody, they don't see that. They don't feel that. They don't understand it because we actually keep them so tight and so small, they just can't. So what we did with this business owner, first of all, was started working on her leadership so that she could trust and feel comfortable in delegating, taking her hands off the wheel just a little bit. This is exactly the kind of work we do in the LPC Accelerator program because, of course, the L stands for leadership. And if we're not working on ourselves as a leader, if we're not preparing ourselves to lead at that next level, to be the CEO in our own business, we are not doing our business any favors. So if you are ready to do this work and you are ready for a program where you get to do some one-on-one, have some great strategies, find the right tools, and be a part of the right community, the LPC Accelerator might be the right program for you. Registration is open now. You can check out all of the great details in the link below and send me a DM if you have any questions. We redesigned our org chart so that it made sense in terms of how the team lined up with the business plan and the goals that she had. That was absolutely critical. And then we clarified the roles. We did some work on role design to make sure that people really had clarity around what they were supposed to do, why they were doing it. We talked about implementing some accountability structures so that people understood what they had ownership for, also how they shared accountability in spaces and how they were going to work together. And then we shifted how she communicated the values to her team, right? So we really got her engaged in having that really meaningful discussion so that she could talk to them in a way that made a lot of sense about the vision, the mission, the values, how important those were to her, and helped them understand how they could be important too. And within a year, she'd scaled to multiple six figures, was able to take some Fridays off and feel really good about it. And actually, they were able to have some fun. She was able to have fun and enjoy her business again. Why? Because she stopped doing everything and started leading like a CEO. She embraced the idea of leveraging her team as assets and leashing the talented people in her business to do their best work. Why? She actually hired them in the first place. And amazingly enough, it accelerated her business beyond what she thought was in her wildest imagination. All right, what I've got for you in this episode is 5 things that you can do right now to start leading differently in your business, to start actually really strategically working with your incredibly talented people. So here we go. Number 1, you need to shift your own mindset. Your job is not to do the work anymore. You are a chief executive officer, not a chief everything officer. Your job now is to lead the people who do the work. That is a mindset shift. And I will tell you, I've absolutely worked with clients where that has blown their mind when they've said that. So if it's blowing your mind right now, send me a DM. It's okay. We can talk it out. You are not to do the work. You are to lead the people who do the work. And that is 100% a mindset shift. Number 2, you need to audit for ROI. Who on your team is actually driving outcomes? Who's performing? Who lacks clarity? Who's not really delivering? Maybe they're on the fence. Here's an important one. You also need to ask who's being underutilized. And I've seen this time and again where we hire really talented, really skilled people. And then we don't let them do the work they're really good at. We underutilize their talents. Good grief. If this is something you're doing, you need to stop it immediately. But you need to do an audit for that ROI to understand. And of course, if you have someone in your business that is not performing and is pretty consistent in that underperforming space, then you need to think about what are they doing in your business? And there's some conversations to be had there. Again, if you need support, call me. I can help you with those difficult conversations. That's another podcast episode. We'll do that one. Number 3, you need to design for ownership. So you need to create clear role descriptions, and these don't have to be complicated. Like, honestly, you can create clarity simply in a Google Doc with some bullet points. You need to be clear about KPIs. What are the performance measures? What does success look like? And then you need to build communication channels that build value, not dependency. Okay. And I will tell you, I'm working with a client right now. She is a world-respected global expert in her space. But what has happened is that there's been dependency created. Everybody comes to her for the answer. And the truth is the business is scaling so quickly that is not functional anymore. So we need to make sure that we build communication systems that are based in value, not in dependency for you. Number 4, you need to invest in development. And you need to invest in your development first, because leadership doesn't stop with you. We need every person on your team to think about themselves as a leader. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to lead other humans. They're certainly going to lead projects. They definitely lead your clients. They probably are going to lead some vendors or contractors. But if you aren't leading, if you aren't showing up and showing them what leadership looks like and feels like in your business, then it's going to be very hard to convince them to do it. So you need to invest in your leadership development first, and then grow your team, not just your revenue. Number 5, you need to celebrate and connect. Make sure your people know how they contribute to your mission. That's your job as the CEO. Your job is to actually articulate and tell the story of the vision. It's to enroll people in the mission. It's to get them excited and fired up so they can see how they connect, so they can feel how they make a difference. And that's your job to do that. And then celebrate when they do something awesome. And it can be as simple as a message in your Slack channel. Hey, I saw you do that with this client. That was awesome. Keep it up. You can find ways to recognize people and reward them. And it doesn't have to be all monetary. Find out what their currency is. And I don't mean dollars. I mean, what do they really love? Do they love their dog? Do they love paddleboarding? Do they love going for long walks? What do they really love? And how do you reward them in that way? So maybe they love a latte. Get them a Starbucks card. Maybe they love walking their dog. So you buy them some scented poop bags and a little hanger for the leash. I don't know. Find out what your people love and give it to them. It doesn't have to cost a fortune. Everybody would love to have a luxury vacation. Hell, I'd love to have a luxury vacation. We're not doing that. We don't have big programs. But what we can do is find out what they love most, and we can recognize them and reward them with those little treasures. That's going to fuel retention. They're going to stay and they're going to work harder for you. If you're nodding and in your head you're thinking, man, this makes sense. I really need this. Then it's time to stop spinning your wheels. You can download these 5 questions that'll shift, that will help. We'll put them in the show notes. We'll get you a link. And you can go and just work through these 5 things: shifting your mindset, auditing for the ROI, designing your roles for ownership, investing in development, celebrating and connecting and rewarding. You can do these things. These are small changes you can make right now. And if you're ready to really drive value in your team, if you're really ready to create a culture where people can deliver without draining your own energy, then you need to be in the LPC Accelerator program. This is where leadership, people strategy, and culture actually hit the road. This is where they are all working together to build and scale your business. Because here's the deal. You can't scale until you're ready to scale yourself. You can't scale your business until you're ready to scale your own leadership. And you can't do that unless you're ready to scale your people. And it all starts with you. It starts with you valuing your team. If you're nodding your head thinking, I really need this, this is exactly what's missing in my business, then it's time to stop spinning your wheels, my friend. You can download this free guide, these 5 questions that are going to help you shift from helper to high impact leader. You'll find the link in the show notes. We'll make sure it's there for you. And if you're really ready to build a team that adds real value without draining your energy, then reach out to me about the LPC Accelerator. That is exactly what we do in that program. We talk about your leadership. We help you create a leadership style that is authentic and it feels great. We help you design the people strategy that's actually going to work, that is going to really leverage your talent, really value them in growing your business. And of course, we really sink into culture where people feel like they belong, because ultimately when they show up in your workplace and they feel valued and they feel respected and they feel like their work is amazing, it's going to really change the world, they deliver better work for you. Because here's the deal. When you scale your business, you have to scale your leadership. You really can't grow until you're ready to grow, my friend. And that all starts with valuing your people in a whole new way and looking at your leadership in a whole new light. So until next time, my friends, lead with heart, grow with purpose, and stay high voltage. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Female Founder Unplugged. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Connect with me on Instagram at High Volt Leadership and send me your questions or let me know your biggest takeaway. Looking for more strategies on scaling your business, building a powerhouse team, or leading with confidence? Head over to highvoltageleadership.ca or follow me on LinkedIn for exclusive content, resources, and special offers just for listeners. Until next time, keep leading, keep learning, and remember, the real magic happens when you're unplugged.